Is it is Memo pulling up or is it just us three?
No, just the three of us today.
Sounds
Justin
good.
got called in for work. Memo's
Damn,
stuck at
I was
work.
hoping you'd be my boy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But you were saying about starting up in what?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
mean we officially start practice on the 23rd, but like we're I'll be training all winter just in terms of like getting obviously getting swings in, but like for me it's a lot about like getting in the weight room, make sure I'm eating right, making sure I'm doing my speed work, like trying to get in the best shape I can. Like the swing is the swing at this point. Like
Hmm.
make small tweaks here and there and like I'm doing a couple of things to try to get a little quicker and a little more consistent, but the swing is the swing, and so trying to Larry did not connect to audio.
He can't hear you. Do you have like a nutritionist or
There we
like
go.
someone that's
We
doing
have
like a
a
off-season plan for you?
yeah, we have like a there's a nutritionist for all the athletes at UMass, so we like if we want we get to meet with her. I have a pretty good idea of like what I need to do nutritionally, and I've met with
Hmm.
people in the past about it. Um So it's a less of a thing for me, but I know a bunch of other guys, especially younger guys, like take advantage as they should take advantage of that opportunity to get in with a nutritionist, especially like someone professional. People trying to gain weight do it a lot. Like, what should I
Yeah.
be eating? Because it's not all just about like eating everything you see, you know.
Right, right. Yeah.
你好，
你好吗?
你好吗？你好吗?
How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man.
You look good. The mustache is good.
Bro, I messed it up. I appreciate it, man. I'm
Dude, your
trying
content has been lit recently.
to. I
I'm not
appreciate
even
it, man.
kidding. I fuck with it. Like the Instagram has been really good. Did you get custom Evo Shield guards?
Yeah, my girl got it for me.
Tough,
I
dude.
know, crazy.
Tough. Holy.
Yeah, they got the whole set. You got the leg guard, you got the arm guard, all of it.
I know. Oh, I saw it. I'm very attentive to those small little gear details, dude. Very
Right?
attentive.
She's
Wait,
bougie it
Mitch, you,
up.
you should show Larry the glove you got.
Did you see this, Larry?
No, I didn't see
At
it. What?
UMass, you get to like personalize and customize a glove with the school logo on it. And so I
Sick,
got like a cherry red outfield glove, name on it, logo on it,
sick.
a little like pretty, yeah, I love it, dude.
I
It's pretty.
Ouch.
forget you're an outfielder, man.
I'm playing first base here. So this is mostly just a toy, but
Got you.
no, they have me playing first.
Are you a starter?
I mean, I don't know yet. It's probably gonna be I'll be competing for time
Oh,
at
right.
DH and first base.
I'm stupid. Baseball is literally spring. I'm so stupid.
No, I mean everyone plays in the fall and like I played well, I played fine in the fall, like some good, some bad, and um I mean I made the team, like I'll put myself in a good spot to compete, and so I'm
Hell
fired
yeah.
up about that. Like, dude, I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm a D3 guy. Like, this is all
Hell
icing on the
no,
cake
bro. You
for
know what
I
me.
you
know, right?
are? You're a muffin.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, I'm the first D1 Muffin, I'll tell you that. So
I'm happy for you. Never a doubt, man. Never a doubt.
I
Yep.
I knew
appreciate that.
you were gonna get there, man. But you
It's
gotta
it's it's
shout out
been
the
it's been a
muffins.
cool
You
ride.
gotta
Say it
shout out the
again.
muffins when you're up there.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the muffins. That's for damn sure.
You hear that, Kev?
No, no way.
You
No
hear
way.
that,
You guys,
Kev?
you guys actually like more than you guys know, like um you guys like kind of made baseball fun again for me. Like
Hell
in some
yeah.
ways, like coming out to Monterey and finding you guys, like thank goodness you guys drafted me. Like, I mean, I've always loved baseball. I've loved it a lot, but like it can be a job, especially in college.
Right?
And you start to like the grind of it like starts to become very serious. And then like you get drafted to a team called the Muffins when you're like just trying to get some at bats and like work in. So trying not to lose like all your feel in the fall. You end up getting drafted by the fucking Muffins, and like I'm telling you, dude, like it. I like rediscovered like joy for the game that I hadn't had. Like I was stealing bases. with you guys. Like I don't steal bases, bro. Like I don't steal bases. Like it honestly like helped me so much. And when I went back in the spring, like there would be times like especially before like big at bats, like where I would remind myself like it's just the Muffins. Like it's just another at bat. Like it's just a game. It's just fun. It's just some random guy out there. Maybe he's throwing a little harder than they were when I was playing for the Muffins, but like and it honestly calmed me down. Like kind of got me in the right spot. So again, more than you guys know. Like it's a pretty cool experience you guys got going.
Yeah, you heard that here first, ladies and gentlemen. Those who are tuning into the oven, he is a D1 player saying it's the Muffins. If y'all
It's the
need those
Muffins.
damn ethics, bro, y'all ethical freaks out there, you guys you guys heard it here first. Fine. But I think
Absolutely the Muffins.
I think that's what I don't know. I can't speak for Kevin, but for myself personally, I think that was what it was. Or kind of like the make or break between choosing men's league and college for me was because I felt like to some extent college ball or like that competitiveness of that side of it could sometimes take away or strip away what people would call the fun of the sport, right? Because it gets to a point where people worry too much about winning, losing, or all that stuff, or reputation, ego, all that. They start to lose touch of why they play the game in the first place. And I feel like if me personally, knowing my personality, if I played at that level, I don't think it's something I would exactly, you know, find myself enjoying as much as I do now.
It's so important, dude. Like it's so easy, especially when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
I'm a very hypercritical person, like just the way I am. Like it's very easy for me to get really down on myself when things don't go well. And obviously, everyone says in baseball, right? Like you have to stay level. Like if you're experiencing the low lows, and even if you're riding high highs, like it makes for you're a less consistent baseball player. And I've definitely experienced that at different times in my career. And I think the more that I can stay consistent, that consistency has a direct relationship with am I just enjoying playing baseball? Am I enjoying hitting balls hard, catching barrels? Like, am I enjoying being with my teammates, building relationships with guys, right? Like, because that's the stuff at the end of the day you have the most control over, and you can do that whether you're playing for the Muffins or playing for, UMass, whatever.
Yeah, it's more of like and especially too, as far as I know you, I feel like the three of us could say we are like definitely perfectionists. Like we expect a lot. We hold
Yeah,
ourselves
no doubt.
to a very high, like high bar. And that's the thing about baseball too, is because of the fact that you fail more than you succeed. So,
No doubt. Yeah.
oh,
And
bro, shut
like
up, sick boy. No, I'm just playing.
Man, you making fun of me just to look adjusted.
no, no doubt. Like the more you're focused on I think very frequently like I'll lose good for perfect, if that makes sense. Like I'll ignore like the positives that I do have because it's not exactly what I want. It's funny. I was like looking at film. I was looking at swing film like right before this. I'm looking at some swings I took today. And obviously like something was bothering me in my film with my hands, weren't doing this, that, or the other. And like I kind of glossed over the fact that like I barreled 8 out of 10 balls off of, like a pretty firm machine, right? Like, okay, what was I doing well? Like, what? Let's counteract that. Like, let's go look for the good for a second because we fail so much in this sport. Like, you actually have to make a conscious effort to look for the good things, and even when the failure is an inherent part of it. So, no, all that's to say, like, bro, like. The Muffins is a special place where baseball is fun. It's like almost like it's one step from like the Bananas. Like you guys should go compete with Savannah Bananas, like do all the crazy baseball stuff and everything, dude. I really think you guys could make something out of it. It's such a cool brand.
I
I
appreciate it.
sidetracked. Do you watch Momentum? Eric Sim, Trevor Bauer,
Yeah,
all
yeah, for
them?
sure.
Because you know how they lost a person there. They were like, looking for someone. I was thinking about applying, but then I was thinking like, hey, if I'm gonna shoot for something like that, I might as well counter offer. Like send Eric Sim a message, be like, yo, if you're in the Bay Area, come check out the Muffins and come play a game with us in the men's league. Because he plays men's league ball out in
He
Arizona.
does, yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, come play with us and rep our like, you say
That'd be
merch,
sick.
right?
Or Jersey.
Jerseys, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that would be sick.
I
Would
mean,
be,
like, dude, crazier things have happened. Like, social media is so cool just for that alone. Like, you can actually reach out to Eric Sim and like he might respond. Like, he might not, but he might respond.
maybe. Let me find his
I
email.
think you, Larry, I think you should definitely apply for that thing of momentum. I saw that part of the video. I don't know what happened to I guess is like Tosh.
Tosh, yeah.
I don't know what like went down there, but like that's an open spot, dude. Like you can go
Yeah.
compete, no doubt about it, and you have the
The
like the
charisma.
personability for it, right? So why not throw your hat in that ring?
I mean, I was talking to my girl about it too, but then it really got me thinking like, it's a long shot, and B, I mean, it doesn't hurt to apply, but like, let's say on the off chance, they look at my application, they look at my video that I submitted, they're like, oh, it's good. It's just kind of like it's in itself is a fat commitment because not only am I moving from the Bay Area out to Arizona, I'm leaving everything I have here behind.
It's a
I have a
major
lot.
risk. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like that means no more muffins for me, unless I want to expand muffins out there. But like then again,
Yeah,
they're probably gonna make me sign some type of contract where I'm strictly under this, I'm strictly under that, and I feel like you know it's a lot to think about before doing that. But I was thinking
for
it
sure.
doesn't hurt to
Yeah.
submit an application to start.
Definitely. I mean, I think it's also you got to think about like what are your personal goals? Like what do you want out of it? Like muffins is great, but like what do you want out of life and baseball and the two of those hand in hand, right? Like if you want to be a content creator and you want to make something out of this, like dude, you got to put yourself in the best possible position to do
I
so.
know, and that's what like that's why it's like pulling me like both directions. It's the fact that when I originally saw that video, I was like, damn, this is like exactly what I want to do. I don't know, because I don't know if this is just like a universally known kid's dream where every kid wants to, when I grow up, I want to be a YouTuber, or like every time you're young, you're watching YouTube as a 12, 13-year-old in bed, and you're like, damn, I want to grow up. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 job. I want to go do YouTube and do whatever the hell I want. That's always been something that stood by me, but like I just felt like me personally, I do want to go into content creation. I feel like that is a place where I feel like I would better myself. But then again, it's like one of those things where it is a dream, right? You're gonna have to shoot for the stars. So I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a strong enough family and foundation around me where I'm able to take that risk and still fall back on like the degree that I'm studying. So I guess it's
Absolutely.
all a work in progress. Can't really say too much about that. Damn, you're disappointed in me?
No, I guess
Ooh, Kev?
we're start the
No, Mitch,
episode.
you looked at me, you're like, absolutely.
What, bro? I'm not
I just
disappointed.
play.
Nothing.
I just play.
No, I'm not disappointed. I just think like there's no harm in applying for something like that. Like you clearly are about the grind of posting stuff frequently. You clearly like you live up to it. Like you might get something with 2 views, but I'm seeing you post the next thing the next day, and then you get something with a bunch of views, right? Like
Right?
that's the consistency that a content creator like you have to have, and you wouldn't be doing that with that any kind of regularity if you weren't about it, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want you to
Sell yourself
I don't
short.
want you to like pass up on an opportunity
Exactly. Because
because
I'm
of
like,
all the stuff that might not work out. You know what I'm saying?
gotta control what I can control, move one step at a time.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I need a videographer because my phone has like barely any storage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I'm not hating, baby. If you're watching this, you do a great job. I'm just saying, like, for
All right.
videos and someone who's following me, like, or following the entire team for Muffins content too, obviously, it'd be odd if she's just walking around the dugout filming everyone. But like, if there's a videographer, my email is the link description. Okay, let's
Uh,
move on back to the podcast. I sidetracked.
yeah. I guess we're gonna sh introduce the podcast now. Welcome back to the Muffin guys.
Welcome back
Uh,
to. You didn't do a spin. Spin.
I'm standing up
Well, you can spin. You can twirl.
with my wire. Anyway, we have a very special guest with us today. He was the first Muffin ever drafted,
OG.
part of the OG Fall 2023.
Put a picture right here.
Yeah. If you could introduce yourself, what position you play, um, I guess what team you are currently on right now, and a fun fact about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Mitchell Schroeder. I was drafted by the Muffins in the fall of 2023 in the inaugural fall season. Me being out there was like it was kind of funny. It was a weird coincidence. So I'm a college baseball player. At the time, I was at Middlebury College, which is a Division III school in Middlebury, Vermont, and I was out doing school research, like offsite campus research in Monterey, California. And I was looking for a way to get some at bats in the fall. Obviously, I wasn't gonna have like a fall season or anything, so I was looking a way to like get some at bats. And the league up in San Jose was the closest one. Went to the tryout. Um, I didn't even know if I was gonna get picked up or what the deal was, just because I was only there for the fall.
Time out,
Got
time out. Let me
to,
stop you real quick. You didn't think you were gonna get picked up, my guy. Bro,
well,
you didn't
I'm
think you
not
were
trying
gonna
to
get
be
picked.
overly humble. I'm just saying, like, I was only there for the fall, and like I made that clear. Like, I know, like, it's kind of a legacy thing. Like, there was only whatever. I
You're too
wasn't sure
humble,
about
bro. You're
anything.
too humble. Come on, you're way dude. Even if it was for freaking one inning of a game, so you would get picked up, bro. Come on, dude.
I wasn't sure about anything. I just was looking for some at bats, and I ended up getting picked up by these guys, and it was like genuine. I was saying this, before we got on, like. It like made baseball fun again for me. Like it was such a blast getting to play with guys obviously I'd never met before, like building relationships with guys like Kev and Larry and shout out Memo and other guys from that group. And took all those guys teammates and really good friends by the end of the fall. um, and being contention for a championship, that was pretty cool too. So it was just a great fall, man. I loved it, and I've kept in touch with them. Got to play out there again this summer or this past summer. I'm hoping to go see them again this summer and find a way into a game somehow. So um, that's my muffin story. And then what else can I give you? So I was able to do a grad transfer, and I'm at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst D1 program. UMass, they were the Minutemen. I'm from Brookline, Massachusetts, so it's kind of cool that I get to wear the state across my chest this spring, and so got to transfer up there and experience some D1 baseball for my last year. Fun fact about me is I love hot sauce. And I think Kevin and Larry know that a little bit about me, that like I will actually go to like a Chinese restaurant and get like the spiciest thing. Like I'm about it when it comes to spice. And like I know like most whites like aren't really about it.
Most
And
whites.
I'm telling you, dude, like I'm really like that when it comes to spicy food. And I hope that next time us three meet up, we can put that to the test.
Oh, I'm down. Wait, what's your
Oh,
favorite spicy Chinese dish?
I really can get behind. I know it's kind of a weird one, but mapo tofu is
Oh
fire,
my God.
fire.
dude, you should have
Um,
my. We should have Dad cook him some. Yeah, that's
dude,
what
I
that's what we've
I
been cooking.
I really like it. It's like it's awesome, especially like when it's really spicy and like your tongue like gets all numb. It's really good.
Huh? Okay.
I mean, you say you like spicy food, but like, how much can you tolerate? Like, are you
So
able
I'm
to eat
definitely
this
used to
without
I'm used to
any?
more like habaneros and like more like Mexican stuff,
Damn.
spice and peppers, stuff like that. Um, but like I've had like ghost peppers before. I've had like different kinds of chilies and hot sauces and stuff. I've done like the hot ones challenge. You've seen that show on YouTube where like they go through the wings with all the different sauces.
Yeah.
I've had the spiciest
Jeez.
hot sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Jeez.
That's
Oh
a
yeah, I was just gonna ask you, have you gone to
That's
B-dubs and
lit.
had
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, the atomic whatever. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
did.
So
I,
um
it was bad.
How was it
Yeah,
though?
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, was it good?
it's I mean, no, it's terrible. But it's you can get through it. It's fine. Like, it's just a waste of a bunch of chicken wings. You can
Was it
finish the
hot?
challenge. You get a cool shirt though. I'll do
You
it for sure.
finished the challenge? Oh my
I'll do
God.
most things for a free t-shirt. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
For the sake of 2024, and social media, let's like change the wording to that sentence. You'll do a lot of things for a t-shirt. Let's slightly
Yeah, no,
tweak
I'm
that
willing to stand
sentence.
by that. I'm willing to stand by that.
You'll do a lot of things. What's the limit?
I'm not really willing to put a limit on it right now. When the time comes, we'll know.
Would you go streaking at a
Oh my
Well, that
professional?
kind of ruins the point of the t-shirt, no?
The t-shirt says I went streaking.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a fire t-shirt to me, so I have to think about it.
I mean, that's good. The dare it's like that daredevilish vibe, right?
Yeah,
Like the
you can clip that, throw that on the Muffins social media page. Left fielder Mitch Schroeder will do anything for a t-shirt. DM for potential opportunities.
What the?
he went streaking last night.
Oh my
No, no,
God.
no.
All right, we're on the
Um,
sidetrack here.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
but I mean, back
Um,
to the baseball piece. To answer the rest of your questions, so with the Muffins, I played left field and first base. I also pitched a little bit, which was hilarious. I had one good appearance and three pretty poor appearances, so probably won't be getting back on the mound for quite some time, but still had a lot of fun. I hadn't pitched since I was like 12 or 13, so that was pretty cool. And then just like hitting behind these two guys in the lineup was a lot of fun and a lot of RBIs as a result, trying to drive these guys in. So, yeah, no, we had a lot of fun, man. It was pretty fun baseball playing against some older guys, some chippy guys. It's good stuff.
That's awesome. Uh, can you walk me through sort of the transition from D3 to D1? Like, how did you get recruited? Or, yeah,
Yeah,
walk me
yeah.
through the transition.
Well, so it's funny because my freshman year, I was actually my freshman year of college. I got recruited to Johns Hopkins University, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. It's a D3 school. Um, and my freshman year, I got cut. So I showed up and I was part of a recruiting class. It was like 16, 17 kids. You do that times four, all the different classes. That math doesn't quite work out. Not everyone's going to make the team. I didn't make the team. And I walked on the following year and made the roster. Got three at bats. That was COVID year. So I didn't play and I wasn't really happy there. And so transferred to Middlebury College, which is a school. It's in the NESCAC conference in D3, which is like a bunch of small liberal arts colleges. And kind of just rebuilt myself as a baseball player there. From a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint, completely blew up the swing and changed a lot of things about how I approached the batter's box and um, ended up performing pretty well there for 3 years. And with all the transfer portal stuff, I figured I'd kind of give it a shot. And what you do basically as a grad transfer is you apply to enter the transfer portal and you put a video up on Twitter and you have all your stats on there and some moments from in-game highlights and different stuff like that. And you kind of just send emails to schools and attach your video and say, hey, here's where you can find me and see who's reaching out. So UMass was actually the first like actually like school that I would consider to reach out to me through the portal. And it was down to them and a couple other places and ended up going with them. And it's been great. So I'm super happy here. It's the differences between D1 and D3. D3 is a lot more personal initiative, if that makes sense. Like if you want to like grind and get better, like there's all the resources there for you, like, but it's gonna be on your time for the most part. Like the team practices in the fall are much less substantial. Winter training isn't really a thing. It's all individually motivated. I was really lucky at Middlebury to be with a group of guys who really wanted to train and really wanted to, get in the weight room 3 or 4 times a week, hit every single day, right? Like use the technology that we had at Middlebury for our benefit to try to improve our exit velocity, try to improve our swing speed, try to improve our bat path, right? So I was really lucky where I ended up landing. But the difference at D1 is like all that stuff is structured. All the practices are structured. We just wrapped up fall ball, and it's December, so it's safe to say the fall has been a lot more monitored by coaches and defined, and so they definitely have the advantage in terms of player development for sure. And we play more games in the spring, get to play some really cool places. I get to play at Fenway Park this spring with UMass. I get to play at a couple minor league stadiums, and so that's pretty freaking sweet, and I'm pumped for that. One last ride, you know what I mean?
All right. I gotta ask, what are your goals outside of this? Like after season's over, what are your goals? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, so at Middlebury, I majored in political science. And actually, when I met you guys, I was getting a master's degree in international policy. And right now at UMass, I'm getting a second master's degree in data analytics. So next year, I'll be working in Washington, D.C. And I won't be like a politician or anything like that, but I'll be doing like more national security focused stuff and working at the State Department. So that's the idea for now, and kind of pursuing some stuff from the federal government for the federal government, and I'm really interested in that stuff and hopefully keeping us all safe.
Hmm. Oh. What if you get a look from MLB scouts?
If I'll probably refer them to the nearest mental institution. Yeah,
All right.
if I'm getting MLB scouts coming to talk to me, man, it's you're looking at like a 24, 25-year-old DH, who can play a little bit of first base, bro. Like that's not really gonna be my path at this point. And I've kind of
Hmm.
accepted that, but I'm telling you right now, like I've maximized every bit of my baseball career. Like as someone who like was not getting recruited out of high school, like not really getting recruited out of high school to like getting cut into college, transfer in college, like to be playing at this level, and I'm going to compete for time this year, and I feel confident about my ability to perform here. um to to say that and like feel confident that I've accomplished everything I need to accomplish in baseball as a player, right? Like I don't personally need more. And I think I'll be so sad when I have to walk away from organized competitive college baseball.
Yeah.
But it'll be the right thing, and I'm not going to pursue like indie ball opportunities. And if let's say I like hit 500 this year with 25 bombs and the Marlins called me, like, yeah, of course I'll sign, but I'm content with where I'm at, and just kind of trying to make the most of this year.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I think you kind of touched on it, but like, if the opportunity arises, right, you would choose it. You like you said, if the Marlins, but like, what if, say, it deviated to like another route, like as you mentioned, the Savannah Bananas, right? Like, what if it's
Yeah.
some like sort of different style of baseball? Do you think that you could still go down and play with them because they have different rules, they're probably structured, but in a different way.
It's totally different. And I also think like something like the Bananas, right? And even the other teams they play against, like I think they're called the Party Monsters and the Firemen, maybe something like that. That they like those are all social media content creators in the baseball social media space. And that's dope. Like that is so cool that those guys are pursuing that and that they get to do that as a profession. And there are some guys who have like made serious money off of that and are clearly living their dreams, right? Like there's that guy on social media, Coach Rack, who plays for the Bananas, who like clearly is super popular and influential with youth baseball. That's dope, man. Like that is so cool. I think that's something for me personally. I love baseball. I mean, it takes you play one game with me, and hopefully I convey pretty clearly like how serious I am about baseball, how much I love baseball, and like I think I make it relatively clear. But I also, and I attribute this to my parents, the way I was raised, and in the schools I've been lucky enough to attend. Like I really care about stuff outside of baseball too, and I think I've always valued being a complete person. And my dad was in music as a profession, and growing up, I was all about music, and learned how to sing and everything. And so in college at the D3 level, when you have that more time, I was in a couple singing groups. Like I really like enjoyed doing stuff outside of baseball. Obviously take the training super seriously and the development super seriously, but like being a whole person, right? Like going into national security, like that's something I've really want to prioritize. It's important to me. So there's not a lot that I would give up. There's not a lot that could really sway me from some of those other like more external goals.
That's cool, man. Can we hear a
You
vocal
want to ask about the
session?
singing?
Can we hear a
You want to
vocal
ask about the
session
singing?
at the
Here,
end of the podcast?
I won't. I'm not gonna sing. I'm a little sick. I'm not gonna sing for the podcast.
Damn.
But if you want to check me out, I have a song on, or not. I have a song. The group I was in at Hopkins has a song on iTunes.
Oh, sure,
It's
we
The
gotta
Night
check
We
it.
Met from 13 Reasons or Stranger Things or whatever the song's from. I think Stranger Things. And it's on like all the streaming platforms. It's called The Night We Met by the All Nighters, the JHU All Nighters. And I'm soloing the song, so you can hear me sing if you click on that.
Oh,
And make us a little bit of money too. Shout out to the All
Can
Nighters.
can we
I'm
play
sure
a clip
all
of
those
that?
guys are watching the Muffins podcast, so we'll see.
Sheesh. Can we play a clip of that right now?
Yeah, bet. Go for it.
All right, we'll put it up on screen.
I had all and then most of you, some and now none of you. Take me back to the night we met.
That's sick.
that's awesome though. Like I wish I had some sort of musical talent back in like elementary school or middle school.
It's
Uh,
literally just like my parents, dude. Like, and I mean, I still like love. I get all the singing I need like in the car now,
No, I
but
was
like,
gonna say that's serious. That's serious singing sessions is in the car, man.
oh, bro, you don't even know. Like it gets pretty serious. It gets pretty serious in the car, and I also know like, you know, any roommate I've ever had, like you could ask him, and like they're like, yeah, like Mitch sings. Like sometimes just by himself, he thinks he's alone, and he's not. He's singing. So.
And like no one
um,
tells him to just be quiet. No, I'm playing. I'm
Oh
playing.
God damn.
I've definitely been caught up before a couple times for
I want to
sure.
hear it, bro. What? I want to. I'm curious now. And you know what is crazy is because you actually connected to Kevin's speaker on the first game you came in the fall, and you connected to his speaker and you were playing music. And I remember asking Kevin, I was like, damn, these are good ass songs. You're connected? And he goes, nah, Mitch is. And I went up to you and I said, dude, this is your song. Do you remember that? I was like, dude, you got some good
Yeah.
ass
That
music.
was like one of our first like I don't think I'd actually met you at that time. I
I
just met
know.
Kevin and then a couple of the other guys. I met like Roger, a couple of the other guys at that point. Like our first, I don't know, I was trying to make a good impression and just put on some pop bangers and
Yeah,
hope for the
bro.
best.
Dude, keep in mind, you got to the field like an hour and 15 minutes early or something, and you were just like stretching the whole time. You were
No, no,
stretching for
no.
like
He
40 minutes.
he came to hit with us, and he drove all the way from
Right.
Monterey just to hit with us.
I hit with you guys that morning. That was
That
so
was
fun. That was
That
so
was
fun.
that's
I definitely
dedication.
remember. I definitely remember like because I didn't meet you guys like at the tryout. I remember seeing you guys there and being like, oh, like these
yeah.
kids are studs. But um I like I remember getting to the like whatever it was, cage, the cage at that field like pregame um to hit with you guys, and it's like is you two, and it's your dad with the machine and the thing fired up, and I'm like, dude, like just don't suck. Like please just don't suck. Like I can't like have these guys like I gotta just put the barrel on the ball. Like I was more nervous for that than I'm than maybe I let on, um but yeah, no, everything went smoothly, and I think I was 2 for 4 that day. We got a win over the Marlins if I remember right, and
Yep.
got kicked off the Muffins. Or
Yeah.
Wait,
no, the second week of Muffins. It was the second week
That
of
was
Muffins.
that was the
I wasn't
second
there
week,
for
and that
week
was our
one.
first ever win.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah.
that was a fun game. Fun game,
That
man.
was a great game, actually. Uh,
wait, I gotta ask, what was your first impression when you actually saw us play? Like at the cage?
Well, like Well, to be honest, dude, and I think I told you guys this, like my first thought, like when I saw both of you guys hit, I was like, well, first I didn't know how old either of you guys were.
Did we
So
look
like,
like we sucked? Because I feel like it's because we're small.
no,
Like it looks like
dude, I'm telling you this, I'm not just like trying to pump your tires. Like my thought was like, oh, like these guys like have played college baseball somewhere and so at some point. And I think I told you guys that. Like I even either asked where you guys went to school or like, once I found out that like Larry was like, I don't know, Larry, how old are you? 19, 20, 20,
18. I was 18 at the time.
18?
Yeah.
So like I was like, dude, like where are you going to school? Like I mean, especially I mean like Kevin's a pretty special hitter. Like Larry, you got some juice, dude. Like there's I was very impressed. And I also in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, this league's gonna be legit. Like this is these ball players these guys can play a little bit. Um, but no, I was really like genuinely impressed with you guys and shocked that you guys weren't at some level of college baseball because you guys can absolutely play there. And I believe that to this day. And I also totally respect the decision of like, look, I don't want baseball to be my job. I don't want baseball to feel like I have to go to work every day, lunch pail in hand to try to figure out the swing. I want to keep baseball fun. And I think that's something I learned from you guys too, is like I just assumed like, oh, these kids are nasty. They must play college baseball. Like it's not always about like the level at which you play. It's about like, how do you experience the game? How do you value the game? And do you want to keep it fun? Do you want to keep it light? You want to just go ball out? Or do you want to like kind of make it that more like serious commitment, which like, for what? For some people that's just not the vibe. So I learned a lot from watching you guys play, both like watching you guys attack fastballs early in the count and to just like watching the joy you guys play with. So yeah, no, I think suffice to say, I was pretty impressed.
Yeesh. I do want to touch back on the thing. Again, I don't think I'm really hating. I'm not hating on college baseball. I think college baseball is sick. I mean, granted, if I had the opportunity to, like experience it, I mean, I feel like I would take that up and hey, try it out. But I think because of how I don't think a lot of non-baseball players mix it up and they think baseball is such like a physical sport, but they don't realize how much mental there is to it. And I think that when it comes to college ball, for my personal preference, it's not, that's just what I mean. Like kind of like I don't think I would perform to the standard I think I can perform at because of, for one, confidence level or like or mental mental stability. I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
and trust me, like that's something I've dealt with a lot throughout college baseball. And I'll tell you, like the same way that you perform well with the Muffins because of the relationships you have on that team and because of how comfortable you feel in that environment. Like it's the same way in college baseball. Like if you don't have good relationships with your teammates or your coach and you don't feel like you belong there or you have doubts about yourself or it's too serious, you don't have that kind of like vibe with your teammates and where things can just be fun. Like college baseball can be really tough and really uh, challenging because the failure is inevitable. It's the relationships and the environment you surround yourself with that it can either make it doable and like you take the good with the bad because you know that your buddies are always there going to pick you up, or it's really hard to get through and a lot of people burn out playing college baseball and end up, turning into other things. I think a really good example, like the baseball bat bros,
yeah.
like that dude Will, right? Like the main guy who like you
Yeah.
see like hitting tanks and literally hitting balls 110 miles an hour. He played D1 baseball. He played for at Utah. He played for like one, maybe two seasons. I think he had like two or somewhere between like 2 and 4 at bats as a like college career, and then he walked away from it. Either he got told that he wasn't going to be part of the program anymore, or he walked away from it on his own volition. I obviously don't know, but
Hmm.
like that's a guy where I'd be willing to bet that college baseball kind of burnt him out. And that there's so much left in the sport that he has to contribute. Clearly, like he's one of the most popular baseball content creators in the world. Um, but that college grind is like just not. it's not for everyone. It hasn't been for me at some times in my career where it's like, Jesus Christ, like this is a lot. And I just can't take the failure right now. Um, and I've kind of stumbled through my career to get to where I'm at. But um, I think it's super fair for guys to not want that or like face that burnout and that challenge and be like, look, I'm good, dude. Like I got what I needed and be strong enough to walk away from it, right? And choose something different.
Yeah, and you know the saying, well, like there's a base or like the saying that says, "Oh yeah, they just came from left field." They're like, "Oh damn, life just threw me a curveball." It's just kind of like that. That's the thing with baseball, real life, all of it, right? And it's crazy to think how much your life can change in a year, in a month. I mean, hell, even a week, right? Like so many things can happen, and you can literally like go to bed one night like, "Oh yeah." This and that, and the next morning something drastically changes, right?
No
It's
doubt
like
about it.
love, hate for the sport, all that stuff. And I think that's a big thing about moving step by step too. Because like if you look too far into the past, it can mess you up. If you look too far into the future, it could also mess you up. But it's just like that balance too. Finding that
Hmm.
balance between what you want and like how you're gonna get to that is tough. So honestly, like it's much respect for college athletes out there, who are able to balance all that. On top of that, like studies, man, education, all that. That's tough out there
Yeah.
doing that.
Actually, that is a question I have. How did you study while you were in seasons? Like, I'm sure you guys had road trips, right? Like, how did
Yeah.
you manage assignments and
Yeah, it's
skipping
tough, man.
lectures?
Yeah. So especially at the D3 level, um, if you're at like a academic institution like a Middlebury or some school comparable to that where like professors like they don't really care if you're on a sports team, bro. Like you better get that work done. They don't it's not Alabama football. Like they do not care what team you're on or how frequently you're competing. Like they're fired up when you do well and they're excited when the team wins, but if that assignment's late, like that's late. There's kind of no way around that. And um I kind of bought into that as like a challenge, right? Like another way for me to compete. It sounds kind of hardo, but like I did. That kind of fired me up. Like there was an extra
Hell
thing on
yeah.
my plate, an extra way for me to kind of persevere and succeed, like a challenge for me to go get, right?
Yeah.
Um, but to answer your question, right? Like challenging. You're doing work on the bus. I'm sure I'll be doing work on the bus this spring. You're doing work like, I mean, I remember there was um there was a day, so this was 2023. I was working on a paper on Middle Eastern geopolitics, and we had our weekend series against like a conference rival, Williams College,
Hmm.
and I had to submit the paper by 6 p.m. on that Saturday. But the thing was that our first game started at 12, which means we had to be at the field for warm-ups and on-field BP at 9, which means we had to get up at however early, which means that paper had to be due before we got on the bus that day. Like I didn't have all day to finish that paper, right? Like so I remember that morning I got up at 6 to finish the paper. I turned it in at 8 a.m., ate breakfast, got on the bus, and then we swept Williams that day. But like that's an example, right? Is like you just fit it in where you can. And sometimes your sleep kind of suffers. And I think that's the tough part about trying to do both is sometimes the recovery piece is less than, what you want, but you fit it in where you can and you try to take easy classes during the season. Like that's kind of the worst kept secret in college athletics is that when you're in season, like you're taking easy classes, you're taking less classes. I would always try to set myself up for lighter workloads in the spring. I wasn't always good at picking the easy classes, but you do your best to try to kind of load yourself up in the fall and take it easy in the spring. So um, that was how I did it and worked out.
He was on the bus. He was on the bus studying, and people are partying. He's like, "Hey, shut the fuck up!"
Nah, I mean, you still have to have fun too. Like that's kind of what I'm saying is like you got to use those opportunities to like build relationships too. Like when you're on the bus with your teammates, like you kind of can't be all about school all the time.
Right.
You have to make you have to make space for having fun with your teammates. You got to make space for going out after a series win. You got to make space for that because that's crucial team building time, especially like so I was captain my senior year or my grad year, right? Like I had to establish those relationships with younger guys. I don't you don't establish those relationships in the library, right? Like that's a new place. That's a new, necessary place for me to allocate my time. Um, and you're either doing it training, you're doing it over meals, you're doing it on the bus, or you're doing it in a social setting. And I had to kind of learn that like though that relationship building time with your players that's a valuable use of time. Even if you're playing Wii and you feel like you're wasting time because you got an assignment due, like bro, that's valuable time that you're spending building relationships with players. And maybe that's just an excuse for me to play Wii Sports, but
Wii Sports.
by the way,
Awesome.
I'll see any of you guys at any Wii game. Any Wii game,
Oh,
Hell
Wii
no.
Sports
oh,
Resort, Mario Kart, Mario Super Sluggers, MLB Power
Super
Play.
Mario Bros. What about Super Mario Bros?
Yeah, you can get the work in Mario Bros. No doubt about
Hell
it.
no.
No doubt,
I would
no
kill
doubt
you in that game, bro.
no doubt about it. Yeah, no.
Wii tennis. That's awesome though.
Nah, I'll beat you in Wii baseball, bro. Come on,
Oh
man.
my gosh.
You ain't beat me in Wii
I'll
baseball.
beat you in it, bro.
You ain't beat me in Wii baseball,
Loser's
bro.
gonna do 20 sprints, bro. Come on.
No
Hey,
doubt about it. No
next
doubt
next
about
time you
it.
come next time you come over to the Bay Area, we got a
You'll
Wii at
be
our
running,
place.
dude. You will be running.
Nah.
No doubt about it. I'm looking forward to the day. Looking forward
Right?
to the
I'll
day.
get
We'll
your
Wii
waters ready
baseball
for
over
you,
some
bro. I'll
mapo
get your
tofu.
waters, your sweat towels. I'll get it all ready for you.
Yeah. Wii baseball over some traditional Chinese spicy food.
Oh, let's eat the spicy food prior too. So when you run, your stomach's gonna be on
How
fire.
about every time you give up a run, you got to eat a spicy pepper?
No, we'll say spicy tofu, not pepper. I hate pepper.
All right, that's fine.
Or like a
Your
wing
mouth's
from
gonna be on
D-Dubs.
fire.
Nah, I think you're gonna be on the toilet that night. Like, damn, I regret saying that.
You might be right. You could
Okay,
be right.
so Papa Muffin wants to know when's the next time that you'll be back playing in a Muffins uniform.
Ah,
He
okay.
misses you.
Well, let's think about this.
He's watching
So
right
my
now too.
season here ends like end of May,
End
early
of
June
May.
maybe.
Oh
And
shit. So then you'll just
well,
miss Memorial Day, huh?
Memorial Day,
Because we're planning on doing a Vegas tournament.
Memorial Day is
End of May, like the
end of
28th.
May. So
20,
it kind of depends on
your guys' success, huh?
yeah, exactly. So like it depends on our success and what we end up doing. Hopefully I won't be able to make it because that means we're in the playoffs and competing for a spot at a regional or something like that. But if I am, then I'll be there because that sounds super fun. If we're not, then
4th of
I mean I
July, right?
want to come out to so my mom lives in
You should
she
probably bleep that
I'm gonna bleep that out.
I'm not too concerned about it. She lives in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And so she I mean I want to go see her at some point. So when I'm out there, hopefully I'll be able to
Oh yeah.
pop down, play a couple games. What's the summer schedule for you guys this year?
Oh, we're not even done with fall yet, so summer schedule doesn't even come out. But
Well,
we'll
but
be,
like it's like a summer league or is it like a
yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of
yeah.
tournaments like it was this past year?
We'll be playing starting like March or like April, and then all the way until September.
Is
So
it just like
August,
weekend
September.
games?
Yeah. Our regular season is Sundays, and then for like the 4th of July tournament, that one will be a weekend long thing.
Gotcha. Well, I think I'll definitely get out there for a regular season game. Um, and maybe the 4th of July again if I can swing that if it's in San Jose that could be doable. So But definitely I would say a regular season game in June when I go, go visit my mom out on the West Coast, I think that would be a ton of fun. I'd love to do that. So I'd
Hell
say
yeah.
see
There you go. You heard it here first.
heard it here first.
And if
We've
he
got
doesn't
the
show
lineup
up, another
hitting
20
eighth,
sprints.
right field, keep him as far away from the batter's box as
Bro, you
possible.
know what we should do that game? We're gonna have you play every position in that game, one inning. Every
Oh yeah.
position.
I could do that.
Do it for content too. I'm sure a lot of people would
And he
want to
used to
see
be a
that.
catcher too, so
Right?
yeah,
I can catch.
why did you give up catching?
I tore my UCL when
Uh,
I was,
I think you did tell me
well,
about that.
I partially tore it when I was 15, and then I finished the job when I was 20, over COVID. So I used to actually throw pretty hard, and I don't anymore. Now, like when I play first base, like when I'm in the outfield and I can air it out and kind of lollipop it, I'll throw from up top. But when I'm at first base, I throw completely like sub, just because like the short throws like from this slot, like it just hurts my arm too much. I can't do it. So um,
Yeah.
it's such a weird thing. But yeah, no. So I stopped catching pretty shortly after that injury because I wasn't gonna get TJ, and so um, just kind of focus on hitting from there on.
How did you heal your arm? Like, what did you do? Since
A
you said you
lot of
didn't want
it,
to
I
get.
mean, there was a lot of a rest was a huge component of it, right? Like I stopped throwing for a bunch of months. And then the strengthening piece, right? Like so if your UCL is here and this ligament is torn at this juncture, right? I like sometimes I would struggle with command. I mean, Larry, you caught me. Like sometimes I would be missing high or then missing low, right? Like my command wouldn't be great at some points because
Not
like
taking signs. How'd you
I
get?
don't know where my slot is, right? So like because of that lack of connection, like I don't always know where my release point is.
Yeah.
But if you strengthen the muscles around it and you strengthen the muscles either in your shoulder, back of your shoulder, through your forearm, and kind of keep them nice and loose and make sure they don't like get too upset at you at any point, like you can kind of get through it. You just can't throw super hard anymore. Your top end velo is a little lower. So um that's the main difference. As long as as long as I'm not trying to throw 90, like I'll be fine.
Hmm.
You mentioned you didn't want to get TJ. Was there like, is it just like, oh, I don't think that I'll be playing at a level where I need my arm to be, you know, throwing 90 something or
Yeah, no, I mean, look, like if there's one regret that I have from my baseball career, and I think this kind of goes across the board for me personally, is like I kind of didn't really believe in myself enough. And I believed in myself in terms of my own development and like, oh, like I'm willing to show up every day and do what it takes to like get a little bit better every day. But in terms of like the long-term goals, like, bro, I never thought I'd be playing D1 baseball. I thought I was gonna be like kind of like a situational guy at the D3 level. Um, I really I didn't necessarily see all this happening. And I always wanted it to. I dreamed of it. And I worked for it, but I was always very hard on myself, especially when I was planning for the future. So when I was 15, right? Like I kind of was like, well, I don't even know if I'm gonna do baseball. I don't know if I'm good enough. So let's just kind of like get through it and heal it up and like hopefully I'll be fine. If there's one thing I could do differently, I would go back to 15, I would get Tommy John surgery. And I would say, look, like you're gonna get recruited eventually. You're on your own path. Get the surgery, get right, and then keep catching because I loved catching. I loved it. It was my main I loved it. It was you have complete you have a big part in terms of that relationship with that guy on the mound. You have a big time control in terms of where the ball goes around the field. It matters that you keep the ball in front of you. You have big time control in terms of keeping strikes, making ball strikes, building relationships with umpires, learning how the game works. I think there's so many good things about catching, and I really loved it. I would go back and get TJ at 15 and try to keep catching and maybe take a post grad year somewhere and get recruited a year later. Um, why I didn't do it at 20 was because the writing was already on the wall that I wasn't going to catch, and TJ was a 1 to 2 year recovery, which might have meant I wouldn't be able to throw until I was 22. By which point I probably, I wouldn't have been able to hit for the entire year, which means I would have had 1 year of college baseball in my head. I just didn't think I didn't think it was worth it from a timeline standpoint. And I don't regret that decision.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate with you. Well, let's say you did go back to 15 and you got your TJ and all that stuff, but you took that 1 to 2 year break and you're in high school at the time. I mean, high school is a detrimental part of that your baseball career, right? Like it's those are the times where you set really your baseball foundation. Like what if in those 1 to 2 years you weren't able to quote unquote improve or like, like you fell off and you couldn't find that kind of gap back up that you had while you played through it.
Well, I
Right.
mean, I think it's a reasonable thing to bring up, and I definitely think that that's part of because that age of high school, 15 to 17, that's recruiting time. Like you got to get picked up by a college at some point in that career, if, in that span of time, if you want to play at the next level, right? So like in my head when I was 15, I was like, I'm not gonna sacrifice that time and not get picked up because I'm not gonna end my baseball career now, essentially for hope that maybe I walk on somewhere, right? That was my thought. I'm gonna be the best I can with what I have. The pushback to that is that there's no more intensive strength building and like development process than recovering from a major surgery. And if you get that surgery, I would have gotten that surgery when I was 15, right? Like I would have had a strict PT plan. I would have had like a full body strength and conditioning plan, probably. Like I would have been obviously resting and recovering, but like I would have been in the gym every single day trying to heal that thing. And I think that would have done really good things for me in terms of my full body like strength and development. It would have forced me to take an extra year, which instead of going to college as a young freshman, I would have been an old freshman, which gives you, extra development, physical maturation. And I think I would have had better physical habits going into that year if I had gone through the process of coming back from surgery, taken some time to kind of catch my breath. And I really don't. I don't think I don't think the swing really would have suffered. The only thing I would have missed out on were
High
high
school
school
ball.
memories and high school at bats, which that's cool.
Really?
That's great and important, right? But I don't think that it would have cost me. I don't think it would have cost me an opportunity to play college baseball. Um, but like I mean, to your point, right? Like there's a chance that I get that surgery and I never come back the same, and I go be a student in college and I'm 2 years into a career right now, right? Like that's a distinct possibility that like things don't work out as well as they have if I got that surgery at 15. So, maybe it's not right to feel any kind of regret about that, right? Like things happen for a reason, decisions
Exactly.
made for a
Everything
reason,
happens
and,
for a
and I'm
reason.
happy with where I'm at. So it's kind of how I feel about it.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're happy, content with where you're at, and you can only control what you can control now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think it informs like if I ever have kids someday and like I'm helping them make decisions, like that's a piece of life experience that now I have experienced and thought a great deal about to where like, let's say like I have a daughter who plays softball and she gets banged up and like needs surgery, like and doesn't want to get it, like I have a little more perspective on that now. I can help her through that conversation or whatever the case may be, right? So I can't change it. I've made the most of the decision I did make. So how do I impact others in a positive way based on the experience I got,
There we go.
That's interesting you say that because our dad always pushes us to play college ball, but before there was like a period of time where he just despised uh, city college or junior college, right?
Hmm.
And so when I was applying to colleges, he said, "Do not apply to any JUCO schools. If you apply to JUCO, I'm not going to support you." And so that scared the shit out of me. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for a simple 4 year. This one doesn't even have baseball, but who cares, right? Because
Yeah.
I'll just do whatever. I mean, I know that I'm not going to make it far in baseball, right? I was a very late bloomer. I didn't really hit my growth spurt until like my full growth spurt until like junior year of high school. So. I was already way past the point. And so it's funny because my dad always goes, "Oh, you guys should have just played Ju JUCO and then probably transferred to another school." And we're like, "Man, you told us JUCO
Yeah.
was a terrible route."
It's funny how that stuff changes, isn't it?
Dude, this guy literally told me, um, uh, so I got asked to come to, what was that school?
Pinata.
Kenyatta to co-play, right? Uh, and then my dad goes, "Oh yeah, you should do it." I looked at him, I was like, this is July, I think. I'm like, Dad, I literally committed to Merced literally a couple months ago. Why are you telling me this now? It's like, what do you want me to do? I already said yes, I'm going to Merced. Like, bro, what
Yeah,
do you want me to do?
that's
But,
wild. That's pretty funny, man.
but I mean,
That's
everything happens for a reason. If it weren't for
Yep.
that, I mean, muffins would have never been created. All that
Yep.
would have never happened.
everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
I'm a
Go
firm
Muffins,
believer of
baby.
that.
What I like to hear. I mean, watch, fast forward, and you go flash forward to like 2 years, and then you actually move back to the Bay Area and you're a full-time muffin.
Yeah, dude. Hey, why not? I could see that happen.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
could see it. I could see it. There's a world.
We got to make that happen then.
Of course,
All
we're gonna turn
right,
this
let's
into a
talk about it.
business. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
in 5 years, everyone's gonna know what the muffins are, bro.
Everyone's gonna want to play for the Muffins. I'm gonna have to be fighting for my spot in a couple years.
Nah, man, come on.
I'm OG, just remember that.
Yo, gee, that's
OG muffins.
OG Muffin.
that's all you gotta know.
Man, I don't know why you always say that though. Like from the I think Larry can attest to it as well. When we were in the draft, right? This was towards the so you were part of the PM session, and so towards the end, right, when everyone was doing the BP, I remember hearing the ball come off your bat, and then I whipped my head around because I was looking at the bullpen. I whipped my head around. I was like, I got to take a look at this guy. And then I walk over to my dad, and he goes, "Oh, look at this guy! I like this guy. His best speed is crazy. It's so amazing." And then next thing you know, because we never talked to you, right? And so when the draft came around, we had the fourth overall pick, and so I was I was like, "Please, no one take him." And then no one, like the first three, I don't remember who. I think it was Marlins and Rockies ahead of us and some other team. But they picked
Yep.
some other guys. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And then right when they called our team, I picked you. And then you text I reached out to you and then you said, "Oh, I'm only gonna be here for the fall." And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, no.
I was hella pissed about that.
Well,
Yeah,
it's what's funny is the Rockies actually told me they were gonna draft me at
really.
that day. They were like, obviously like what we see, like we're okay with you just here for the fall. Like we're if you're on the board at 3, like we're gonna take you. And so when I got the text from you guys, I was like, oh fuck, like either the Muffins must have had a higher pick or the Rockies must have like went another direction. I think that they chose some other guy. I don't know who it was, but
Everything really does happen for
um
a reason.
they yeah, I was always fired up to play against them for sure.
You went straight to the store and bought a pink belt, pink socks.
I did.
I
I bought in too.
You already had a
like
pink
that.
bat too.
That was funny. So that was actually I was dude, trust me, like I was so fired up to play for you guys. I thought the logo was the coolest thing in the world, and I was like I was just so excited about it, and I needed new wood bats anyway. And
Whoa.
on Old Hick, I went on Old Hickory's website, and they like just happened to have a sale on Mother's Day pink bats. It was like $70
Mm.
for like an MLB grade, like pro grade bat, and I was like, give me 2 of them, and that's the muffin season right there. Like I'll probably break one, and I'll be able to get through it. And that thing lasted me like a year and a year and a half. It was the best bat ever. Best bat ever. I loved that thing. I've thought about buying more. I think
Well,
it's sweet.
I
You
gotta
gotta get
ask that the logo. Is it a muffin or a cupcake?
So my friends have had a bunch of debates about this because obviously I shared it with all of them when
Right answers
I
only.
learned I was a muffin. And I think look, like in my head it's
Oh
always gonna be
God.
muffin because I know the brand. I'm familiar with the brand. My friends were very convinced that it was a cupcake. My friends were
It's a
very sure
muffin.
that it was a cupcake. But see, that's the thing, right?
It's a
Like
fucking muffin. I said it's a muffin now. It's a muffin.
that's exactly right. And that's what I told them. Like, hey, look, like you're either with me or you're against me. So like if you're calling it's the cupcakes, like I just can't fuck with you
Then
like that.
you have become an op. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I just can't. I can't really mess with
You
you like
become
that. So
oppositions now.
yeah, exactly. I just
You
can't
have a
really mess
target
with
on
you.
your back.
Yeah, no. I see where your loyalties lie.
See how it is, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's funny. It's a muffin. Don't
Oh
get
yeah,
that
no doubt
twisted.
about it.
Anyone watching right now, don't get that twisted.
And
It's a
it's
muffin.
the best logo in sports. Like there's no
That's why I
doubt about
like
it. I haven't seen a better one. Like it's the best logo in sports. It's so good.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Oh yeah.
All right, is that do we have anything else to add?
I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Hopefully this gave a lot of insight on what it is to be a Division One athlete to many people. I mean, the road could be bumpy, but if you have your sight on your destination. Ah, dang, I was trying to think of something to end that. That could have
That
been
would
a
have been
good one
tight.
too.
Yeah,
What could
that would
I
have
have
been
said?
tight.
You
What
had
could
me
I have
hooked.
said?
I saw the gears turn and that would have been sweet. Yeah, that would have been a
Ah,
good
shit,
little
I stalled
transition.
there, boys. My bad. My engine
Damn,
turned
dog.
off. I stalled.
That's a good bid.
But yeah, new videos every Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in to the muffin, to the podcast. And once again, appreciate you, Mitch, for coming out. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you guys. Muffins forever.
Yes, sir. That's what I like to hear.